Friend Matiangi, in politics, your network is not your net worth. Your value to the network is your net worth. What is your value? In a political table, your value is your political party and how many people you are bringing on board. You cannot move around and tell us you have no political party, you have not decided. Kenyans are serious and you are not serious. You better go back to World Bank.
Hello, my name is Pendo Setim, and this is the Political Oracle, a segment of the Talkchat podcast. Today we are going to talk about Fred Matiangi. Welcome, Daktari.
Asante.
Uko aje leo?
Niko poa, hadi you?
I'm also fine.
It has been a long time since we were here to talk about politics.
Yes.
Yeah, but we are here. Yeah.
And today we are going to talk about Fred Matiangi. During a recent national conversation in a national television, he continued to talk about his presidential ambitions. Yes.
Exactly. And I think it's something we saw 2 or 3 days ago when he was interviewed in a national TV. It was actually his first interview since he came back to Kenya. There was no other time that he was given such a platform to talk about his political ambition. Of course, we all know that he announced previously that he wants to be president.
Yes.
And when he jetted back to Kenya from, I think he was working with World Bank, he was very categorical that I will be running for president. He was endorsed. And he has been energized by the action and by the calls of Gen Zs that he is one of the persons they can consider to be president in 2027.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think he opened up a few things in that interview, and many people have discussed about him. But today I want us to delve into a different perspective of Matiangi. And of course, to ask the question whether he is prepared to be
the next president.
The sixth.
Yes, Matiangi the sixth.
We know he is planning together with other opposition leaders because he has gone now to tour Western Kenya.
Yes.
And I know maybe they will pass through Nyanza, his place, and greet his Bagusi.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's my assumption. Yes.
Although Matiangi said he does not have a political party yet.
Those are some of the things I think we need to make it clear to him. And I wish he listens to us because we are going to offer him a free advice when it comes to those things. Among the things I want to touch on, Matiangi, are these. Maybe you can allow me to outline some of the things he needs to consider.
Yes, please.
If Matiangi wants to be president, and he is very serious, because according to me, he doesn't seem to be serious. In fact, if you rank him with the likes of Gachagua, Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa,
Martha
Karua, he is far behind.
Okay.
Because he is coming in as a person who has less political experience. Matiangi thinks that he is experienced in politics. He is not. He is experienced in boardroom politics. He has never been a politician.
He has only been appointed.
He should not confuse interacting with the politicians and being a politician.
Okay.
He has interacted with the politicians. He has 10 years experience as CS. Of course, different dockets, about 3 or 4 dockets during Uhuru Kenyatta's presidency. And that experience, he cannot tell us that it can translate into political experience. It is not. What can I tell Matiangi? Number 1, if you want to be president, you must know yourself. Knowing himself will make him sit down and try to analyze how much knowledge he has about politics. He knows about boardroom politics. He has never been elected to an office. He has never gone out to seek for votes. He doesn't know the language of the voter.
He's not a politician.
Not a politician in that particular sense.
Okay.
And he should know himself and know how he is going to close that gap. Because that gap is so big that he may try to to assume it, but it will come to hound him later. He must know the language of the people. Because even if the opposition say he is going to be their presidential candidate, at the end of it, when they speak in a rally, they will need to call Matiangi to speak to the people.
He needs to convince
How will
them.
he speak to the voter? That is why he needs to know himself. And also, he needs to be baptized into real politics. And he needs to seek that baptism as early as possible.
Okay.
Number two, Matiangi should know his enemy. And I know this will come as a shocker. He is moving with people who are experienced politicians. He should not confuse his political allies and friends. I heard him say that he has been invited into other people's political parties, so he has no political party.
Yeah, he's saying he's taking his time.
It's the biggest mistake. I think he should ask Gachagua. Gachagua now has his political party. What is the importance of having your own political party?
Yeah, as early as now.
Because at the end of it, these guys knows that he is a strong candidate.
Okay.
He should ask Kalonzo Musyoka what happened to Kalonzo Musyoka in 2007. Kalonzo was being ranked number 1 preferred candidate. What Raila did to him, I think he needed to ask Kalonzo.
He needs to learn.
Kalonzo and ask him, why is it that I should not trust my allies because they are carrying me along? There is a certain British thinker and feminist called Virginia Woolf. But I know Matiangi knows because he has background in literature. She said this: a woman must have money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction. How does this apply to Matiangi? Matiangi, if you want to be a politician, you must have money and a party of your own. Full stop. And there is no negotiation about this. So when he is saying he has no political party up to this moment, he is joking. And I will tell him that because we will not stop and watch him waste our time. We have a lot of hope in you, Matiangi. You have to be serious. Kenyans are serious on their head. Have your own party. You are moving with Rigathi Gachagua, who has his party. You are moving with Kalonzo Musyoka, who has Wiper
Party.
You are moving with Eugene Wamalwa, who has Democratic Action Party of Kenya, DAP. You are moving with JB Muturi, who has Democratic Party of Kenya. You are moving with Martha Karua, is now People's Liberation Party.
PLP.
You are moving with Cleopas Malala, the DCP deputy party leader. You are also moving with Natembeya, who is actually associated with the DAP Kenya. You cannot move around and tell us you have no political party, you have not decided. Kenyans are serious and you are not serious. You better go back to World Bank.
Yeah.
So that we look for another person. I know this is tough, but I think Matiangi, there is nothing else that he can use to negotiate at the table. At the end of it, these guys will have to sit down and ask Matiangi, what is it that you are bringing? In politics, your network is not your net worth. Your value to the network is your net worth. What is your value? In a political table, your value is your political party and how many people you are bringing on board.
Okay.
They don't just bring you on board like that because you are good. They will bring you down. They will use you to climb up. And that is why, like now, the Western trip is not being led by Matiangi. It is led by Gachagua. He should read the signs. And that is how I'm telling Matiangi, he should learn politics. He is not a politician. You have to be tough with him because if Kenyans are putting hope on him, Matiangi needs to wake up. He needs to know his enemies.
Okay.
And he need not trust the people who are telling him, oh, we are together. He will be used and he will be damned. That was Kalonzo in 2007. Yes. And now, Matiangi should know his qualification, constitutional and political experience. He has never been an elected leader. He will be the first person to contemplate that. And all people who have always wanted to be elected presidents and they have no history in politics, even those who have low profile history, they end up being fringe candidates. And Matiangi, if you don't want to end up as a fringe candidate, you got to be serious. He should know he is qualified constitutionally to be president. But politically, he is not. Unless he raises his profile to an extent, and unless now equips himself with all the required tools to be a presidential candidate. The first tool, have your own political party. Number 2, have money. Don't tell us you will get some funding. Don't even tell us. They should come when you have your own money also.
Okay.
And make sure those donors are not giving you money so that at the end of it, they control your power when you get into power. Because you rely on donors, and donors don't just give their money. There is no free money. Nothing is free in this world. They will give you money. They will sign deals with you. When you become president, you will kneel before them. They will manipulate you, and they will manipulate this country. It is actually something he should not tell us, that he will ask money from donors. That is the language of inexperienced politicians.
Okay.
I don't know whether you have ever heard Ruto say, I'm getting money from donors.
No.
Have you ever heard Uhuru say or Kibaki?
No.
Yeah. And that is why he needs to be baptized into politics. And he needs someone who understands politics so that he tells him how to talk and let him be himself. In that interview, I was very much frustrated. I expected Matiangi to use that interview as a signature to launch political voice. He did not. A gentleman, very calm person. In Kenya, we don't elect those people. Yeah, we leave them to be elected at home for Harambes and for those other things. Compare that with the Rigathi Gachagwa's interview. And you will see the difference. If we usually say Rigathi Gachagua has not yet become a presidential material and we are ranking Matiangi below him, what are we saying?
We have a problem.
Yeah. So, bwana, wewe shemeji, achana na mchezo. If you want to be president, you must wake up and do what politicians do.
Yeah.
The next thing is political net worth. Yeah, and I've said that. That his political network, he should not confuse his political network as his political net worth. His political value is going to be his political net worth. And of course, he needs a strategy. Matiangi should ask himself, what strategy do you have? A new strategy that can remove President Ruto that you did not have when you were pushing for Raila to be president. Because he needs to sit down and ask himself, I was in government at the center of it. I was a very powerful person, but I could not make Raila president. How can you make yourself president?
If you do not manage to make the other person.
I'm not saying there is impossibility, but I'm saying this is things he needs to self-examine. And know that the politics they were playing in Azimio, he should not play it now. Because if he plays the same politics, we are going to see the same results. And people will have no reason putting hope in him. Because we don't want Kenyans to put hope in a person who is not strong enough or who is not going to do their part. Politics is two-way. There is the voter, the citizen who wants salvation, and there is the politician who needs to work hard to make sure they have played their part. He should prove it. And he should convince people that what they are saying is what he is. Otherwise, we will prove him wrong and he will not be able to do what is expected of him. Of course, the last thing is he must know the arrows in his quiver. I was very happy because he talked about the Kisii people. He needs to convince his people. All the Kisii, however few they are, they need to follow him. And we need to see all the Kisii people following Matiangi. He should be their kingpin first. In fact, Matiangi should now work towards becoming a Kisii kingpin first.
Okay.
And he starts with the 2 governors and the MPs and the woman rep and all the leaders in Kisii. We must see them rallying behind Matiangi. He should not project himself as a national leader first. He should first of all project himself as a Kisii leader. Unless he does that, then he will now end up like other French candidates. Charity begins at home. That is what we usually say. So he needs to begin there.
Okay.
And once he does that, now he will have a negotiation. Then he can now start capturing other regions. You need to start somewhere to fight. You cannot fight and defend yourself while you are on air. You need to have a standing ground where you are anchored. For Matiangi, it is Kisii, Nyamira, and Kisii County. The governor, the leaders, the MCAs, the MPs, he should have called them first. And he should form a political party that identifies him and now sponsors him into the presidency and also into the negotiation table. Because at one particular time, if all the leaders are called and they are told, okay, muko hapa, if you have political party, pass through this door, Matiangi will be left. The last question Matiangi needs to ask himself is, how much Ruto is in him? There are things that we accuse President Ruto of doing. There are characteristics that we see in President Ruto, which are also very common in Matiangi. But I'm not going to expound on that. Yeah.
You should just think about it.
He should actually now know the things I should criticize this government, that this government is doing, that I was not doing when I was CS in the previous government. He should separate them so that he knows what to eat, what not to eat. Because if he doesn't know where to hit, he will hit at some things and they will come back to him. And I think that is why maybe President Ruto is very comfortable with them and telling them, have a plan, have a strategy. You cannot remove me. Tell me how to go.
How do you want me to go?
Because it's a weakness that they are likely to have. But so far, so good. I can say Matiangi is a potential candidate. But he needs people who are going to look into his eyes and tell him the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Daktari. And now let's move to his track record. He has 10 years experience as the cabinet secretary, where he served as the cabinet secretary for ICT, for interior, and also for education during Uru's time. There are some of the advantages and disadvantages that he might have based on that.
Exactly. And, when he becomes serious, people will tell him what he did wrong in his 10 years tenure. People will tell him what he did right as a CS. And he should be open to know. He should sit down and find out how much do people know about me on the negative
and on the positive.
So that the things which people know him on the negative, he should prepare answers and counter narratives as early as possible. And one of the reasons why they are told they have no strategy. If I call Matiangi now in a private room and ask him, how many things do you think people have negative of you? How much of your evil is in the public domain? Is Matiangi aware? If he is not aware, then he is not ready to be president. Or how many good things does the public have about him?
The image.
Both the positive and the negative and the number.
Okay.
And he should have a solution and a response to any negative thing that will face him. Someone told me, when you want to get into politics, you should go back to your childhood and start remembering your previous girlfriend, the person you had a relationship with, because they will be brought back. And you never know whether people know. Your things will be brought to the light. Do you have a response or you'll be shocked? And then you start saying Kenyans do not want to make you president. Be prepared, because Kenyans will not defend you. Kenya will defend you depending on your response to those particular aspects. And he should know his strength, so that now he start appropriating his strength. For example, I saw yesterday on TikTok a video where Matiangi, when he was CS for education, he went to a certain school and he found this head teacher who had bought a bus, but the dormitories were dilapidated. And he was asking the head teacher, okay, what would you prioritize even in your house? To buy a bus or to build these students a good dormitory? Which was an issue of priority, and it is one of the things that made now Kenyans start seeing sense in what Matiangi was doing. Yeah, Matiangi, you make sense. Okay. Now, those are the things you need to have all of them together. Then there are the negatives, and we will tell him. We know, and Kenyans know. Kenyans know all the other bellies of Matiangi. So Matiangi will be told, people will tell you, have ready answers and the responses to those particular issues.
Okay.
If you are now like that, it means you know yourself and you know your enemy, you know where you are going. But if you don't have that and you are basing your worth on the praises and what the people are saying now, people will say today they love you, tomorrow they will say They hate you. People said Ruto the fifth. Now they are saying Ruto must go. People said Uhuru must go.
Now they want him
Now
back.
they are seeing Uhuru as a nature. People fought during Kibaki's time. Actually, there is no other president who has made this country to shed blood than Kibaki. But if you ask people the best president they have ever had, they will tell you is Kibaki. So you are dealing with citizens who are never satisfied na wenye wanaweza kukugeuka overnight. And they tell you,
we don't want you anymore.
We don't want you anymore. So understanding that political terrain is very important for friend Matiangi. He has to succeed as
the
presidential
president.
candidate.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daktari. We've come to the end of the political oracle. I hope Fred Matiangi is going to get some advice from this podcast. If you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Until we meet next time, bye-bye.